Hello, my stamping friends. My name is Holly Peterson. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. And today I have a fun fold card that I'm going to show you how to make. We did this in class this month, and from the outside it looks just like a normal card. But when you open it, you have a pop-up wow section with your DSP. So if you're like me and have a lot of DSP that you're hanging on to, this is a great card to use up some of that we have hoarded. So with that, I will just set that up here and we will get started. I have all of the measurements for you. So the designer paper, we are using Wildly Flowering designer paper. I'm using products from the suite, Wildly Flowering on page 41 of the annual catalog. We're using the bundle and the paper from this suite. So our paper measures 4 by 12, and we're going to score it at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I've already scored that. So that's that piece. Our card base is a regular card base, 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2, and that's in early espresso. We have Moody Mauve that measures 5 1/4 by 4. We have Mossy Meadow that measures 5 by 3 3/4. And I have embossed it with a new sneak peek, the Starstruck embossing folder. And this is a celebration item that will be available January 7th with a $60 purchase. You can choose this folder free. So I've already gone and embossed that. But again, that measures 5 by 3 3/4. I have a piece of 3 by 3 white to stamp on. I have 2 pieces of white that measure 2 1/2 by 3 1/2. I have 2 pieces of Moody Mauve that measure 2 5/8 by 3 5/8. I have 2 of those. I have a white label, and that is cut with the dies from the Wildflower Designs, and it is cut with this die here. We're also going to use the scallop die, and we're going to cut it out of the middle of our Moody Mauve. Since this is just a layer, I'm going to just cut that out on my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And then this die cuts the middle out, so you have a layering. It layers nice with this piece here if you wanted a layer. We didn't use it on this card, so you can just save that for another project. And then it cuts the scallop out as a frame, which I really like. Okay, that's all of our paper pieces. So let's do some stamping first, and then we'll assemble. So on this little label, we have You've Been on My Mind, and we're going to stamp that in early espresso. And we're going to just stamp that right in the middle. And then we're also going to add this little image with Moody Mauve. Let me get some scrap paper here. think I stamped at full strength. Maybe I stamped off. Let's stamp off. So we're just going to stamp those little flower images. Like that. And then with wild wheat, we are going to take the little hash image, and then we're going to just add some of that stamped off as well. Like that. For our images that we're going to stamp, we're going to take the 3x3 white, and that's for these three images here, the flowers and the larger flower image. We're going to stamp those and then die cut those out. And with those, I wanted two-tone, so let's start with the big one. So I'm using my Stampin' Up markers in Early Espresso, Moody Mauve, and Wild Wheat. I had a green one too. Let me see. Mossy Meadow in green. And these are these Stampin' Up markers, not the blend alcohol markers. These are the water-based markers. So we're going to like to start with the light color, and we're going to use the fat tipped end. We have a skinny end and a fat end, and we're going to just use the side of the marker, and we're going to just color our image. Just make sure we got it all covered. Then we're going to come in with the brown, the Early Espresso, and we're just going to color the stem. When you're using your classic, your Stampin' Up markers, you'll want to huff on your image to reactivate the ink to make sure you get a good impression. So we're going to stamp that right there. And then we're going to take this little one and we're going to color the flower with Mossy Meadow. And the stem, I'm sorry, that was Moody Mauve. And the stem, we're going to color with Mossy Meadow. On this one, I'm going to stamp my envelope as well. So without recoloring it, I'm just going to huff on it again. And then that gives us a nice soft flower for our envelope. I'm going to take one of my white layers, the 2.5 by 3.5. We're going to recolor our flower. Color the flower with Moody Mauve and the stem with Mossy Meadow. I'm going to huff on it and just put it in this lower corner. And then on the other one, we're going to do our other flower. So we'll set that there. And that is with this flower here. Again, I'm using not Mossy, I don't keep wanting to call this Mossy Meadow, Moody Mauve. We'll just color the petals. And then we're going to color the stem. And we'll stamp that. Okay, hopefully I can splice these two videos together. We'll see if I'm talented enough to do that. On this other piece, we're going to recolor this again with Moody Mauve. And then again with the Mossy Meadow for the leaves. Huff on it, we're going to stamp it in the opposite corner. Okay, I believe that is all of our stamping. I'm going to just step over here and die cut these with the coordinating dies. And I moved it. Let's see here. Okay, I have all of those now. Sorry, a little disorganized here. Okay, so then we are going to, I didn't cut those horribly great, but that's okay. We'll make it work. And then with a wink of Stella, we're going to sparkle up the yellow flowers here. Can never have too much glitter, I think. And this is nice glitter. It dries fast. Adds just enough sparkle to your project. Okay. So now let's get ready to assemble. So the card base, we're going to just fold that in half. I've already scored it. And we'll use our bone folder. And then on our designer paper, we're going to start with the first one and turn it into a valley. And then we're going to just accordion fold them. I'm just reinforcing each fold with my bone folder. So then when you're all done, you should have something that looks like this. Okay, I'm going to put the front of the card together first before we do the inside. These two white layers just layer on top of the Moody Mauve. Okay, and then we're going to just put our Moody Mauve layer on our card base. And then the Mossy Meadow. A lot of times when I'm using an embossed layer, I like to use my liquid glue to make sure that it gets in all the little crevices there. And that just layers on there. And then our little frame is just going to get layered as well right in the center. And I'm just putting a little bit of glue all around that frame. Like that. And then our label here, we're going to pop up on dimensionals. Okay, so then for the inside, if your designer paper has a pattern, make sure you know which way you want it to go. And it looks like my flowers look good this way versus this way. So just make sure you know which way your design is going. And then start with one of these. I'm going to try liquid glue. And I'm just going to put glue on one of these large sections. Make sure I know which way my flower is going. And then I'm just going to put that in there so that my side, my top, and my bottom margins are right about the same. We'll just hold that for a minute. Then we'll put some glue on this section, this large section. Get the corners good. And then we will stretch this out and try to get the same borders. And then you may have to convince your card to fold the way you want it to fold. And there we have our accordion pop-up in the middle. So then the next thing I did was I decided where I wanted these, and you're only going to glue them on one side. You don't want to put glue all over, otherwise it will close your pleats or your accordions. So that one I just kind of stuck in the middle. And then one of them I did at the top. You don't want it, you want to make sure it doesn't go outside your card. So we'll put that one there. And then the little one, we will put down here at the bottom. And then these layers, we're going to just adhere to these panels. And then that gives you a couple of places to write your message to your recipient. And there we have our accordion pop-up card. The outsides are the same, but then I used two of the different patterns in that package of paper. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you've liked my video. If you have, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel.